Hey, what it do, y'all? What it do? What it do? It is show time. A little smooth for this particular live stream just because of the time of night it is, and hopefully I get a lot of my points across. So for those chilling on a late night tip, not on a late night creep, and you're not really feeling like you want to fall asleep right now, just come chill with yours truly. I just felt like going live at this time, given a date and the time of this live stream. I usually don't be live this late, but sometimes people are up and maybe somebody wants to hear me out. I see Brown Do Life up in the building. Good to see you once again. So yeah, you was actually with me on my last live stream that I did, Brown Do Life, in regards to the emotional matrix. So what makes this live stream unique is that it has the new title of Her Emotional Dating Matrix. Because there's basically a lot of matrix behind a lot of the ways that she likes to date. Basically, a lot of the lesser feminine versus the greater feminine. A lot of the lesser feminine are delusional and they're living in their own matrices. They're living in their own grand illusion, grand delusion of what they think a man is and what a man is going to be to her, and also what a man is supposed to be to her, with her, for her. Yeah, exactly. Mature versus immature. Going to get to that because I'm going to do a video real soon that talks about how dating is actually a sign of immaturity. You should be courting somebody, not dating them. I'm just saying. So, uh, if y'all not serious about being together, y'all don't need to go out on no dinner. Like, if y'all know that y'all not going to be together like that, and you just thinking about smashing. I mean, what's a dinner date for? Get the net chicks and get ill. You know what I mean? Like they say, Netflix and chill. No, just get Netflix and get ill, right? Because that's just what you're gonna do. That's exactly what you're gonna do. You don't take her seriously, and she doesn't take you seriously either. As Brown Do Life said, on both sides of the genders. Yes, the matrix that people have made for themselves. See, they talk about the inner spark or the inner matrix, not just the outer matrix, and they talk about the kingdom of heaven, which is not also external, it's also internal. Basically, a lot of things that are housed up in our brains are the reflection of what heaven looks like, if you will. Like, I'm not making this up. Y'all can look this up. Don't take my word for it, okay? But getting right to the point, for a lot of the feminine, their emotional dating matrix is them thinking that men don't know women. But wants a man to get to know her, and she'll take out a lot of time trying to get a man to get to know her. But she claims that men don't know women. I think that's the problem, fellas. Don't try to get to know her. You want her to know you, and that's how she finds herself. That's when she realizes, oh, this is who I was made for. This is who I was supposed to be loving this certain way. I can't be this way with every man that I run into. Given that the biological structure of a man and a woman isn't the same anyway. I just don't get it sometimes, y'all. Right? But I talked about something else in that previous live stream about just dating matrix itself. I had to put that live stream on private because that live stream I lost connection with the microphone setting. And lo and behold, it just changed my audio pitch. But there is one thing I want to bring up from that previous live stream, and it's in regards to the blocking of the sun because part of her emotional dating matrix does go back to this. So you go into the dating world, right? And they're not trying to have what things be delightful. Get it? Delight, delight. Um, they don't want delightful experiences on these dating sites. They just kind of want to get their way with guys on these dating sites. And if they can't get their way, they'll go away. One thing I can bring up, because this was based on some research that one, I guess, challenged me to do. Not that I have an actual display for this stuff, but just, hey, I've been out there. So a lot of these gals on the online dating site, a lot of them actually, on average, are 33 to 35 years old. On average, a lot of these gals on dating sites are that age. 33 to 35, already has children. Uh, Let me see what else is the average. They have high expectations for the guy. So I don't know if that's the kind of girl y'all want to be with, guys. There you go. But that's what be on a lot of these dating sites. That's the age range most guys going to get with gals on those dating sites. The age is between 33 and 35. Anything younger than that, she's wilding out. She ain't caring about nothing. Yeah. With these younger gals, they just doing the most on these dating sites. Older gals just trying to get their groove back, but realize they lost a step. But they think that, hey, with all the simps out in this world, there's going to be a guy for them too. That's the unfortunate part. But this is the dating matrix, because in reality, it's going to be less guys actually wanting to be around an older gal that can't do for herself, let alone able to do for him while he's in his younger prime years. And I think also outside of internet, it's going to be harder for gals to that are younger to get around certain guys, because he don't want to be seen as, okay, I'm with the gal that's could be seen as underage and I could have assaulted her for all they know. Because that's all it would take, really. No proof. All she has to do is call 12. Woo, 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 woo. He did this. No proof, no evidence. The guy's still getting his hands in handcuffs. He's still going to get locked up, still going to get arrested, still going to have the right to remain silent. Going to have to read off his rights before they get to the jail, get to the county, right? So, um, but here's the thing, like, ladies, like in regards to you thinking that a guy should know you, that get to know, I don't like to say get to know, I like to say grow to know. But see, he won't know you until you get close enough to him, just as Adam knew Eve, because Eve came out of Adam. You have to basically recognize where you come from, ladies. And if you gravitate to a certain guy or you keep coming back to him, that's the guy that you need to stick around with. That's the guy that you need to be with. The guy that you keep coming back to, the guy that you are the most gravitated with, the guy that you're the most rooted and grounded with. Like, you're not going to find it necessarily on a dating site. You put in all your little things you require of the guy to be. And the guy that's actually wanting to be with you, he's looking at that stuff on your profile. And he's like, she want too much from a man. She ain't trying to be simple. She asked for way too much. She don't know what she want in a man. See, things are simple, gals. You shouldn't have to be on a website talking about all this little list of things you want in a man, when simply you just want a man. It should be that simple. You simply want a real man. Yeah. So, guys, you real men don't be going after these typical females that expects a lot from a man, because she thinks that's what being a man is. Um, but a lot of these gals also are becoming more emotionally numb due to all the different types they've had to swipe left or swipe right on a certain profile of a gal that they, a certain profile of a guy that they didn't really think was their type. So they're like, or they do that whole pineapple challenge. Like, I guess now when they're on panels and guys trying to hit on these gals and she don't like them, she could just say pineapples. So it's either the swipe to the left or to the right, or just saying pineapples. Because they trying to be picky on every guy they get around. And in real life, it don't work that way. She'll be lucky if a certain guy wants to get around her. That's how it goes in reality. But here's the thing also, like, in regards to Rihanna, because I mentioned this in the previous live stream about Rihanna sung that song "We Fell in Love in a Hopeless Place," and I said at that previous live stream in regards to the emotional matrix, it's not that she fell in love in a hopeless place. That hopeless place was actually a hopeless state. Okay, and chances of her finding love in that state that she resided in was slim to none. Y'all see on the screen the the Pythagorean theorem. Like I put my name in there. The Pythagorean theorem. Okay, because we talking about these things right now. We're expanding upon knowledge. We're expanding upon the renewal of the mind. Like, give me a second. I want to kind of highlight more of what I mean by this. Like, um, there's so much to say. I hope that everybody likes this live stream so far. We just are about 11 minutes in, and there's so much to break down because based on what I've studied, like also a lot of these gals are anti-polygyny. They're all about serial monogamy, and I say serial monogamy because these gals have been in and out of monogamous situations with guys. They'll break up with him less than 6 months later. A lot of these gals should not be on these dating sites. They're not trying to be anybody's wife. They think you got to start off being somebody's girlfriend. We're living in different times in the other parts of the world. A guy don't see you as his girlfriend. He like, you're gonna be my wife. And for some other guys, he'll be like, you're not gonna be my only wife. Okay. So but yeah, there's so much I want to say here. Give me 1 second, y'all. All right, so that's what I kind of want to keep in mind for y'all. So like uh getting back to the name on the screen, the Pythagorean theorem. Now, you look up the actual formula for that is a squared b squared c squared. And I say this because I try to keep things immaculate. A square b square c square. See, do you see u square? A square b square. You see square? Or outside of my St. Louis dialect, I'll just say it in a way of more clarity. A square b square. Do you see square? That's a double entendre. Do you see a square? Do you see square? Like if his name was Square. But if you're a square, I'm gonna be like, do you see square? Like this Pythagorean theorem that we're talking about in regards to the emotional matrix, the emotional dating matrix of the feminine. The way that yeah, she's squaring her own way too. She's tricking in her own way. She's simping in her own way, trying to get all this attention from guys that she's not even trying to fully commit to in her own way. See, uh these gals, they ain't trying to commit at all. They have their own way they look at things. You know, like so much to say about this. Wow. I think about also the drive-through scenario. This is what I mean. So like if you had a bad day and you're going through to a restaurant, and obviously this doesn't happen, but let's say, for example, you get up to the drive-through and you just start pouring your heart out. I mean, you had one of the worst days on record and you just want to have somebody to talk to. The person answers the intercom, how can I help you? And you might say something like, I really wish somebody can help me. I really wish somebody can help me. I haven't had help for a long time in this life. I really don't know what to do. And then the person on the intercom at the restaurant proceeds with, uh, Let me know if you need more time. How can I help you? Um, what are you trying to get? And you just like, I just wish I had somebody to talk to. We don't offer that type of service, sir. We're gonna need you to get your order together, come up to the window, and you just start getting more emotional about everything. Like you like nobody wants to talk to me. And then last but not least, that person on the intercom at the restaurant says, "Is there anything else I can get you? Please pull up to the window." Like a lot of gals are like this in regards to the emotional dating matrix. See how I put this all together? Because a guy might actually mean well, and he wants her to be aware of how he feels, but she's so used to swapping right for different guys, she don't care about a guy's feelings. She don't care that he cares. She don't care that he has a care in his heart. Uh, she doesn't care. Like she don't care about that guy's life. She like, did you see my profile? I'm not here to have a relationship. I'm not here to try to have a marriage. I get down on both sides, of the gender. Like I'm not the girl you need to hang around. Is there anything else I could do for you? And this guy, he'll probably like, man, it's like that's why I can't get with you gals. Like a lot of y'all are just y'all don't care about a man. You only care about the order that man needs to bring to you certain amount of money, certain amount of certain expectations they have. Like that's the dating matrix. A lot of girls are comfortable in that world, especially if they had a few buckets of seafood to go around with each other. They're very comfortable in that type of world. Okay, um, there's so much more I want to bring up, but I'd say this because another thing I noticed also on these dating sites, there's like quite a few of them, but in regards to her dating matrix, in regards to how delusional she is, a lot of girls just get on there knowing that a guy is not going to like them. They claim they're on these sites just to have friends. I need to find some friends. I'm not into hookups or relationships, but you're dressing provocative. A guy ain't gonna just look at you as more than a friend, no matter how you slice the pie. And for the highest price, you might just say yes. I'll be more than your friend tonight. You see how that goes? It's just a clickbait. You tell a guy that I'm not into having friends. I mean, I'm not into being in a relationship. I just want to have friends. That guy gonna be like, well, damn, I'm gonna be your friend. I'm gonna show you what being a friend all about, baby girl. Hey, give me your number so I can call you. I'm gonna show you what being a friend is all about. You know, like gals do these type of things, talking about no hookups. I'm not trying to have a relationship, but you're dressing provocative on your profile on that dating app online. It's like, come on, man. You'll get a certain guy. He's just gonna wait until you actually decide to let him in. He kept knocking on the door. Yeah, but there's this thing out there. There's two terminologies I want to go over that I believed would be part of this live stream. Okay, and one is confirmation bias. The other one is framing bias. Now, confirmation bias is people tend to view the world like lawyers instead of scientists. They look for evidence that bolsters their case of evidence that might prove it wrong. See, let me read that last part. They look for evidence that bolsters their case instead of evidence that might prove them wrong. See, the confirmation bias in this case is uh, they don't want to be seen wrong in regards to a certain situation. So they want to make sure that certain key components, keywords are said that go in with their favor. See, a lot of gals, they get in their delusion and they do have a lot of confirmation bias on their profiles, especially now that they show off that, hey, I have a lot of children, but no father, but I'm a successful mother. I'm good with the kids and, I have a good job and I'm just ready for life and I'm all together. Like they build on this confirmation bias about themselves, right? So Some people even call it, that's a few other words people call it, like when they project. That's a certain word I'm looking for. It'll have to come back to me later. Okay. But a lot of projection going on, deflection going on. Okay. Where they're not looking at themselves in the mirror and realizing, hey, you really don't have it together. Like, especially if there's no, I apologize, y'all. Especially if there's no father around, like for the children, like you got to come off different. How about instead of talking to guys about how successful you are and you put that on your profile, how about talk about I want to be successful with a man that sees me as right for him. Don't even say you want to be successful with the right kind of man. No, you want to be successful with a man that sees you as right for him. You start talking like that on your profile on a dating app, you might actually get more looks besides guys looking at your body. Like, but yeah, you got to change your pictures on your profile too, sweetie. You got to do that. So, but I noticed that with a lot of these dating apps that I checked out, uh, I checked them out for a couple of years and the behaviors have not changed. This happened between what last year of 2022. From the most recent apps after that, I checked out ever since 2013. Okay. Like there's behaviors haven't changed in regards to this emotional matrix that a lot of the feminine put themselves into, the grand uh illusion that they put upon themselves. Okay. Yeah, they put a lot of illusion upon themselves of what they think is available for them or what they think they deserve, especially when they think they know their worth. Okay, that man don't know your worth. You got to show him your worth. Talk about that. You know, you're not going to hear a gal talking like this on their dating app. They'll say, "I know my worth. I know I deserve that, man. If you don't see that, type yourself being that way with me. Swipe to the left." You know, it's like instead of talking about you know your worth, say, "I'm willing and I am so ready to show my worth." To show that I can be worth something in a man's life. Start talking like that on your profile, ladies. Start doing that. That's what's going to get you a man is when you're honest, open, and raw, showing your core or letting him be able to dig into your core with no type of friction or conflict. Okay. Like you want to be a certain way that a man actually wants to have around, not be around, but he wants to have you around him. He doesn't mind you in his space. You got to start talking like that, ladies, okay? Like when you out here on these dating apps like that, you shouldn't even keep a dating app up for too long. You still got a dating app after 3 years, you just monkey branching this whole time. There's no way that a real woman should, first of all, be on a dating app. But second of all, there's no way a real woman should be keeping her dating app up for too long. Ma'am, don't do that. Like I said, like Kevin Samuels, ma'am, don't overtalk me, ma'am, ma'am. But yeah, you shouldn't. How can I put this? That dating app should be temporary as AF. That dating app should be temporary. You shouldn't be keeping that app up for what? You're trying to find the right man, right? And if you find a decent man, don't say I'm gonna use it as a backup. You know, things go wrong. I got to put myself back out there on the market. Hey, the emotional dating matrix of thinking that you can even put yourself back out there on the market. What your sexual market value, but you're not even wife material. You know, so exactly. New person in the building, sugar bum. Yeah, exactly. I got options. Right, exactly. Yeah, so mhm. But yeah, a lot of that going on. A lot of that going on with Even that too, like some of the gals that take that term "I got options" in a negative way, because there's the Kevin Samuels take on "I got options" or "I exercise my options." But see, some gals also say that too, "I got options," when really a real man is not an option, he's an opportunity. No pun intended, by the way, sugar bum. I'm just saying, like, a real man is an opportunity for a woman, not an option. Now, she might have options because she don't see these guys as real men, and these are just guys that she plays with. Not just boys, they're toys, they're boy toys. That's who they are. But a real man, you're gonna have to give a damn. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to give a damn about a real man. You're gonna have to build a dam with that real man too, you know? Yeah. Like, so I just talked about confirmation bias in a nutshell. Let's talk about the framing bias. The framing bias is uh, you get that based on decisions where risk are involved. People tend to frame their options in terms of gains and losses. You have, uh, let's say, a sure loss, or you also have a less probable but more disastrous loss. So you have a lot of this going on out here, even in the dating world, that I notice with a lot of gals that do run across decent guys in their DMs, in their profiles, and this guy talks, they have this connection, blah, 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 bada bing, bada boom. She'll, for one, be on her confirmation bias based on her dogmatic, yes, her dogmatic view of life. Um, And based on that dogmatic view of life, she'll remain in her confirmation bias of things. Trying to also look up another word while we're at it. Uh, Let me see this here. Okay. Uh, Cognitive dissonance, that's what it is. The state of having inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, or attitudes, especially as related to behavioral decisions and attitude change. There's a lot of cognitive dissonance that goes on in regards to her emotional dating matrix. And with that said, Sugar Bum said, define decent. Hey, we'll define it. First of all, let's look it up. I'm glad you asked me that question. Good question. So, decent. I can give you my opinion about it, that's because that's all it really is. I don't have a definition for it myself, at least not this time, but we could definitely look up, you can just Google search this, don't take my word for it. But yeah, like define decent as you said. Yeah, we're gonna look it up, looking it up right now. So yeah, you look it up through the Google search like everybody else do. Confirming it means conforming with generality, accepted standards of respectable or moral behavior. And then another definition for decent is of an acceptable standard, satisfactory, right? So, yeah, of course, in regards to her emotional dating matrix, I mean, a guy just, well, at least for me, I've noticed based on my experience with a lot of these dating apps, a lot of girls are not being ladylike. A lot of them are not being decent based on the definition I just read. But for me to give you my description, Sugar Bomb, yeah, for me, like I said, it just goes back to a gal being ladylike. Like if she ain't ladylike, to me, that's not being decent. So there's a lot of little etiquettes that I be wanting to see. Like besides her showing off her butt and her boobs on her profile, what about your etiquette? What about the way you have certain, not really mannerisms, but womanisms, right? Like the way you present yourself as a decent lady, as a decent woman. Like, what is it about you that I feel like, yo, she classy? I think I like that. I think I like how classy she really is, the way she carries herself out here. Because we live in a world we're living in a world where there just isn't enough of that. I mean, you got gals calling themselves bougie, but yo, you gotta be classy. Last time I checked, like bougie is just like a ghetto term for the most part. Like, hey, I like a girl that's classy and snazzy. You know, snazzy, stylish, and attractive. That's what snazzy means. Like, hey, be classy and be snazzy, right? I love it. I love it. But yeah, confirmation bias. I brought that up. Framing bias. I just brought that up. And I said a lot of girls sometimes on these dating sites, given their cognitive dissonance, some of them are going to the confirmation bias because very inconsistent with the way they are. I mean, if you think about this, let me break this down. This confirmation bias, and you add to it the cognitive dissonance, okay? Because I heard this a lot, but let's get more into this, right? Hey, what's good, Cortez? I gotta mod you up, family. I ain't seen you in a minute, but I got you. I'm kind of switching it up to where I'm making sure, I go back to a similar way of how I do things. Give me a second. I'll make sure you're taken care of, though. I got you for sure, Cortez. Good to see you. But yeah, her confirmation bias, and you add to it her cognitive dissonance, like uh of her not wanting to be proven wrong. She would rather have evidence further stating her point. You know, a lot of girls, hey, that's the thing with cognitive dissonance. A lot of girls do not like to be proven wrong. Like, you could get a girl to think, I can get on this site, on this dating app, and they put out all these unrealistic expectations on the profile, not realizing this is a different time. Like, guys ain't feeling that way, like as far as like what you put out there and what you think you want from a guy. A guy will look at your profile and screenshot that and use it for a meme to roast you, like real talk. Like, man, like ladies, like get out here and actually say less. Like some gals be like, yo, men don't say enough on their profiles on the dating app. Like, yeah, he wants you to have a conversation with him. That's why. I mean, you look at the way he looks, and if you want to ask about him, you hit him up with a message. You ask for his number. Like y'all actually start to talk. I notice more of the gals on the dating apps, they do more of this description of who they are and what they do for a living and all that. And then a lot of them get mad because they be like, well, the guys don't do that on their profile. They don't show their accolades and their accomplishments. And it's like, well, like you're making it more of an egalitarian conversation. So that's the matrix of a gal thinking that a guy needs to communicate with her the same way she does with him. No, it's about understanding each other's language. It's about that translation. Let's not get lost in that translation, right? Yeah, but that cognitive dissonance in regards to having a confirmation bias, like in regards to her not wanting to be proven wrong, she'll continue to have like certain inconsistent thoughts, beliefs, and attitudes, and straight up basically being dogmatic in the way she is, the way she thinks she has to be, and nobody's gonna change her mind. And some girls even say on their dating app profiles that they just set in their ways. There ain't nothing you gonna be able to tell her. Like you look, no man gonna tell me this, no man gonna tell me that, and they be putting that on their profiles, y'all. I be sitting back like, what? And you out here claiming you want to have a man? Like, why are you on the site just to like make a mockery of maybe a guy that does actually want a real woman in his life? Like, it just gets me. But then I also understand like the hive mentality that comes with some of these gals on these dating sites, like. Because a guy could bring up all this. See, and that's the other thing. Gals bring up a lot of gals on those sites. They bring up all the issues they deal with guys coming in their DM, showing off their private parts and stuff like that. But let a guy talk about what these gals have done in his DM. She don't want to hear it. Like as if, oh, gals don't do that to guys. Like, well, they do. A lot of girls that aren't really feminine like that, they do just what guys do. They show off their body parts, you know what I'm saying? They do all that stuff. I just added you as a moderator, by the way, Cortez. So yeah, I had to kind of revamp everything at this channel, man. So had to flush out the old stuff, the old folk, like no pun intended, but just trying to have a smoother way with the way I do things here at this channel, trying to kind of be a little different out here, deeper rabbit hole over here, the rabbit hole special forces unit. I'm always looking for recruits. That will never change, right? But yeah, the confirmation bias added to that, the cognitive dissonance. you either have gals living like that, even as you see represented in her profiles, and guys see that in real life, giving her dogma that she's going to be always set in her ways. A man cannot tell her anything different, or it's her framing bias. So it could be a mixture of the confirmation bias and the framing bias due to the cognitive dissonance. Like it could be basically from the standpoint of given that she doesn't want to be proven wrong and she becomes inconsistent in the way that she presents things and in the way she kind of expresses herself, like and has an attitude about it, right? Um her decisions are very irrational, illogical. A lot of that is happening. A lot of decisions are irrational and illogical. That tends to take place. Okay, like um because she doesn't want to be proven wrong, so she's going to make irrational decisions even when she knows that she is not right. So certain decisions, based on a sure loss of a framing bias or a less probable but more disastrous loss. So basically, a lot of gals think short term instead of long term in regards to a lot of what they consider their options, right? Like they know a guy is no good, but they'll still get with that guy just because he's going to be fun, but not knowing it's going to be more disastrous. So a lot more people take what they call the less probable but more disastrous loss in regards to framing bias. Like a lot of girls do this all the time. Instead of realizing like a guy is a sure loss, like yo, you're gonna lose with this. They'll deal with the guy that seems not that way at first, like he's just fun, but it's gonna be more disastrous down the road. And the guy that's actually the decent guy, like the gain. Hey, notice a framing bias is not about gains. It's not about gains. It's a bias. See, ladies, you got to be unbiased. There's not enough unbiased ladies out there on dating apps. But see, a real woman wouldn't be on a dating app due to her unbiasedness in general. So, yeah, I mean, gals, it's hard to find a gal that's actually unbiased. Like that's a hard thing to find, but it's a very wonderful thing when a guy actually runs into that because he's like, wow, finally somebody gets me. But I think the more attractive and the more way, the best way that this can be done is for her to actually be under a man's tutelage. And she's like, yo, I'm submitting to him. I'm committed to him. I like his ways. I'm accepting him like as my lead. So yeah, a lot to say about that. Like, um, but yeah, as I just said in regards to like um a lot of these biases, whether it's the confirmation bias or the framing bias. Like most people tend to choose the latter over the former because for them it's better to have a terrible thing to happen than to definitely have a moderately thing go bad. Yeah, like I guess kind of tying it with what I just said. So basically, I just went over the framing bias just to repeat myself. Like people just that short term, long term risk. That's basically what it is. A lot of people go for that short term risk, not realizing in the long run it's going to be worse for you. Versus, yeah, so it's crazy. Like, so a lot of gals, when they do have options, that's what they think about when they look at certain guys. They know they're taking a risk with every guy that they get around. But see, like I said, they're not looking for an actual gain with a certain guy. They don't want to feel like this guy has gains over her, right? Certain advantages over her, certain privileges, certain abilities. Yes. See, one other thing I want to bring up, and it's just all doubt gets removed when reality kicks in or once the rubber meets the road. So that kind of slaps a gal in her face in regards to her emotional dating matrix. Basically, all of her delusion gets put aside when the truth slaps her in the face about the guy that she thought was right for her, given the options she thought she had, and not realizing the opportunity of a guy that she missed out on, that she walked away from. And now she looks back and really thinks about how she really did miss out on that opportunity with that guy because she was caught up trying to be in this dating game. She was in the matrix with it, okay, and she thought she knew what she was doing. She thought she had a guy for every day, not realizing a woman can't operate in that way. Like, you can't try to be like a man in regards to certain mannerisms. What about your womanisms? Okay, like, it's just gonna continue to keep you tripping over rabbit holes per se. You're gonna continue to trip over the rabbit holes out there, sweetie. Your emotional dating matrix is making you so delusional that you're tripping over rabbit holes, tripping over a lot of them. Hopefully this. Oh yeah, and yeah, you tripping. You just tripping. You're tripping over rabbit holes, and you're tripping for that. As a result, you're just tripping. Hopefully this live stream makes sense to some. Maybe this live stream did not make sense to others, but to the others that this live stream made sense to, make sure that you hit that like button, especially those listening to this on the replay. If this is your first time coming to this channel, yes, if this is your first time coming to this channel and you like my content, whether it's my uploads, live streams, etc., definitely more in store. So make sure that you subscribe, share this live, as well as my other content going to archives. You'll see that there's playlists which consist of different topics. Hopefully, I didn't go to sleep on y'all myself while I was talking. Maybe that's a good thing for some. Maybe a gal like, well, his voice puts me to sleep. Well, my voice puts me to sleep too sometimes. Not that I'm a boring person, but the sound and the tone of a baritone, yeah, you dig. But different topics in the playlist that I have you can check out. In the description section is links to other platforms that I'm on for those listening to this on a replay. Make sure y'all hit that notification bell so that you get all of my uploads, live streams, short clips, even my community tabs. You get all of that in real time. Okay. And for some, yes, I understand if you gotta kind of mute the notifications. I don't post as sporadically and as periodically as I used to. Not that I was overly sporadic or overly periodical. I just want to fold back, if you will, in regards to the rate of how I upload because I don't want y'all to get bored of me. I don't want y'all to get tired of me or annoyed of me of always, oh, he got to upload, boom, 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 oh, blowing up my phone like he texting me. Like, I just try to put out some quality work to the best of my ability. With that said, no matter what it looks like out here with a lot of the illusion of gals that think that they are just a touch away from a guy making up their day, only to be at disarray when they find out that ain't the way it works. It's only going to get better from here. Okay. It's only going to get better from here. A lot of gals are going to wake up and realize, hey, the dating, all that crap is the matrix. All that is the matrix. You're supposed to be courting, not dating. Okay. Like, all the dating talk, dating games, even just dating in general, all that is immature. Every bit of it. Okay. And I'm going to talk about that more as time goes on. But thanks a million for stopping by, y'all. I'll see y'all on the next one. And take care.